Hey, welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. So Minnal Murali is an Indian superhero film set in a small South Indian village, and it involves some characters that are just normal people and villagers, and then one day a very fateful lightning strike creates a brand new set of superheroes and villains. And so the general story is we have this guy named Jason. And Jason is the son of a tailor. He owns a really small tailor business. And he's just basically haven't had any type of success in his life. And then he has some problems with his girlfriend, which leads him to become even more depressed with his situation. And then on the other end, we have this guy named Shibu, who has basically lived a life that is also not the best. And he is in love with this girl in the village for many, many years. And then he doesn't get to be with this girl. And unfortunately, his life also sucks like Jason as well. And in the mix, we have a whole bunch of other villagers as well who are part of this entire community. And then one day, a lightning struck occurs. And now we have our superhero origin film with Jason and also with Shibu. And because of that, well, superhero things are going to happen. And so that's the overall general story. Now, getting into the things that I did like about this film is even though there's been so many superhero, especially origin films, we kind of all seen it before. But in this case, I think Minnal Murali does something a little bit different. Because this one is really more, I would say, people focused, It's set in a small village, and so everybody knows everybody. And so most of the story is about the people. And that's what I liked about them. The characters in this particular film, from Shibu, Jason, the Bijou, Baiji, I kind of like all of them, And even though not all the characters get as much development as the main characters of Jason and Shibu, we still get enough to where they're likable, and you kind of feel like you're kind of part of the village as well. And if you've never lived in a South Indian village, then I think this movie does a good job of putting you in this setting. So I did enjoy that, and it was surprising as well. And then the second thing that was unexpected in this one is there's actually a story here that's a little deeper than most superhero films, specifically when it comes to the character development. And the main character here that I was most fascinated in was actually Shibu. And kind of a spoilerish thing, but you're probably going to see it anyway in the trailers. But Shibu is the villain. And in this case, what I really, really like about this particular movie is in the way in which he develops. He's not a simple cookie cutter bad villain. And as I stated a little bit earlier, what I really like about this film is the focus on the people and the village, the community, the characters. So in this case, you can understand why he's doing what he's doing. And for most films, when you can identify with the villain, especially in a superhero film, then that's really a good thing, because then there's not some throwaway character. And they also present more, I would say, like challenges or maybe some conflicts to you as a viewer, thinking, he's a villain or she's a villain, but I can sympathize with him. And that's really great. And surprisingly, he was like my favorite character out of this entire film. Even though I did like Jason as well, I would say Shibu was the most interesting character in this movie. And then the final thing that I would say I did enjoy about this movie is the fact that overall, it is just a fun, light-hearted film. It doesn't take itself too seriously. And at the same time, the effects and stuff, along with the overall funness, it adds to it. And even though these aren't like the greatest effects, especially when you compare it to big blockbuster Marvel type superhero movies, I think they're really good, and it helps to serve the overall fun, lighthearted atmosphere. And by the end of the movie, with the final battle and everything, it was really good. But at the same time, it was fun. I would say most of this movie, I was laughing, chuckling. I enjoyed it. And that's a really good thing, because a lot of times, some of these superhero films, they really take themselves too seriously. But in this case, this movie doesn't. And I really did appreciate that. If you love reading books, then check out Audible, which has the largest selection of audiobooks anywhere on the internet. Sign up today and get a 30-day free trial. For more information, check out the affiliate link in the description area below. Now, getting to the things that I didn't like about this film, if you've seen a lot of superhero films, which you probably have, this really doesn't stray too far away from that. You know, it's basically an origin story, in this case of the hero and the villain. Beyond Jason and Shibu, there's really not much character or story development surrounding the other characters around them, even though I did like them as well. And so, you know, that's about the only main negative that I could see. But overall, I think for a superhero film, especially an international one, I really did enjoy it because I think it set out to do something a little bit different while being fun, and it really did it well. So if you actually had any thoughts on this film or any other superhero films that you're seeing, especially international superhero films, leave that in the comments area below. And if you did want to see more of my international film reviews, I do have an entire playlist. I'll leave that in the description area as well. So as always, if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to share, like, and subscribe. And if you're a creative geek like me, and you want to get exclusive access to more content that I don't put out here publicly on my YouTube channel, then join my Gold Content Creators group, where you're going to get content like this and more for all the creative geeks out there. And the best part is, all of this is free. Simply head over to the link below, check out my page, and sign up for my Gold Content Creators group.